Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the new episode of Here We Talk. Today, we have quite a sensitive topic that we're going to talk about. So, I'm just going to put a disclaimer that this will be something that may be triggering, and we just are doing this so that we can give awareness about the issues of mental health and also as a way of making it a normal thing that we get to be talking about such sensitive issues so that we can all get the help that we need. So today I have got my brother, Brendan Mugumbate. Welcome to Here We Talk.
Hello, hi, thank you.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Okay, a beautiful day. The sun is out. Winter time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So maybe we'll start with one or two icebreakers. What's your top priority for the week or for the day?
Right now I'm on holiday. So it's more of a leisure, but at the same time I have a business that I run, dog breeding. So that's the first thing that I do when I wake up. So that's the first thing that I do every day, nonstop. So that's the first priority that I put it on.
Okay. Oh, all right. Interesting. But I'm happy that you have something that you wake up to do in the morning. All right. Who's been a good mentor to you?
I could say my mom.
Okay.
Every day it's more of giving advice. It can be in a way of having just a conversation or maybe we are mentioning someone, or watching a movie or all sorts. So it's every day it's more of, lectures, if I could say. But yeah.
Okay. So mommy is a good mentor to you?
Mama's for you.
That's for you.
Yeah.
I'm looking for you on that side. So yeah, okay, all right. So today we are going to talk about that. Knowing that it is a sensitive issue to the people and also maybe to yourself. But I just want to thank you for allowing you to bring your voice into this and also help one or two people because right now the rate of suicide in our country has gone up. And you find that every day, every week, you hear about a man committing suicide, someone has taken their life. And we have experienced that personally. My dad committed suicide, and it's been eight years.
Yeah, 8.
9, I think.
8.
Yeah, it's been 9 years. And it's been quite a journey. So I just want to thank you for coming here and saying yes to this. I know how it is to be put out there when it comes to personal issues. So thank you so much for what you have done. Okay, so maybe just tell me what you have gone through the moment that you heard that is what happened. I know that time you were in school and someone came to get you. How was it for you to hear that that's what happened to Dad?
Okay, thank you. In general, I can say the journey was more of character adjustment, character developing, because the personality of someone changes due to the environment or due to circumstances. So it was more of on my side that I had to adjust myself to see if I'm able to adapt with what's there and what's the better for me and the family.
Okay.
So starting from how it got from the day that I was being picked up, I was at school. So in general, I had a dream. I think it was like some months way back before it happened. So how the funeral happened on that day, it was exact the way I dreamt it. But it was my mom, who was having the funeral for my mom. And the picture was there for the mom and what. So, I told my dad about the dream because he always, I think on that day he came to visit at school. I was in form 2 that time. Then I told him I told him the dream, and I was like, go tell mom about the dream, and he did. So as time goes on, when you just be on your own and thinking of such bad situations, like what happens if you lose your parents? What should I do? How is the situation? You start to just imagine, just at a glance. So it's more of like just a vision of like, so what will happen? What will be the situation if things happen? So on that day when I got picked up, the night before, I just had a weird feeling that something is wrong. Just feeling down. I'm just feeling, down maybe because of school. Yeah. But it was just a weird feeling. So I got picked up by my son-in-law. He came to me and I was being called by the principal. And they said, someone got to pick you up. And then he asked me a question. Was your dad sick? Is he sick, or does he have an illness? I was like, no. I don't have any knowledge about his sicknesses and any history of some sort. So it got me in my head. And I'm like, it's always my dad who always come to, pick me up. So, but I was like, you know what? Maybe he was busy because of work or what. Maybe there's a function that's happening. I was like, okay, let me just calm down. So on our way, we stopped by, and they talked to me about it. That's when they told me, your dad passed away, suicide, what. And it was just a weird situation where the sky was, so during the sunset it was all red and what. So, it was more of a, if I can say, the moment, the emotional moment that was there. It was a bit, sentimental. So, I had to look up in the sky and I was like, so that's dream. So this is what I used to imagine, and now it's happening. So, I started crying that time. I was like, okay, let's go and move on. So when I got home, I saw the exact setup that was in my dream. And it was, fascinating and very weird. That I was like, so this was the dream, but it's now my dad, not my mom. Because in the dream, it was my mom. And I'm like, I need to see my mom first. I was looking for my mom because I didn't know much about the situation at home because I was a boarder. So I got there being told the story for my mom. She say, I don't know what was happening to him, suicide, and she was telling me in a way like maybe I thought she was the causer or she was in the situation. So she cleared that first. Okay, I understand, and and then from that time, I went into my room. I needed space. I needed space, and I sat in the mirror, and I was just looking at myself, talking to myself, and I'm like, so this is the moment. This is what's happening. This is what's on the ground, and it's a bad feeling. It's the worst feeling ever. That I can imagine, that I can live, into. And I'm like, you know what? But I can't change it. I can't go back. I can't pray even to pray or to ask God why or why me and all those sort of questions or to have that bitterness. So during that time, it was more of me motivating myself, or if I can say, moment of clarity, where I have to put things on the table, talking to myself like, okay, so if this is now the situation, what am I going to expect? Obviously, it's the worst. What's the worst that I can think of? Obviously, the change of the way we live, lifestyle, food, and obviously, my mom is the one who's now, the head of the house and doing, double jobs, working overtime and all. But I'm like, no, me, I'm the only son. It's more of me stepping up. I'm now having the situation of doing this with pressure now that I must step up. I must help my mom. I must be the father figure of the family. So during that time, that's when I can say it sort of changed the way I am or the way I handle things. So I grew what I can say the level of acceptance. Because it's like what I said, it's the West feeling, and it's hard to accept. No, I can't. Next day you wake up and say, no, this is not it. Why? Sometimes you can say, God did something bad to me. You can start to have that bitterness. But from that time, I had to accept. I completely accepted, even to cry and say, yes, man, don't cry. What I cried, but I told myself, crying, yes, or being emotional, yes, but it's not gonna change anything. What's gonna change is myself and the situation. Yes. So, and I really admired him. He was someone that I really looked up to. If I am to think if he was still here, I would somewhat be a better person as well because I picked some of his personality. One way that I can describe him, he was principled. That's the keyword in bold letters, capital letters,
Yeah.
hyphen or what.
He was, yeah.
Yeah. He made sure that everyone is happy, especially the family, be it friends. If you have a problem, especially monetary wise, he would help you in the best way that he can. Even his brothers, sons, he made sure he give you a hand the best way. So, he was someone who was open in terms of giving. And he always made sure that I'm safe. I'm healthy. I'm good. So yeah, that's one thing I admire about him, and I took that to be like I should be like him. I should be like him. So it got me that motivation that what, that's the person that I want to become. I want to become someone who's calm, someone who's principled as well. And it's not easy, but I can see the changes. And to be honest, that situation humbled me. Well, humbled me, and I've become calm when it comes to these bad situations. Like I need to be humble, and it taught me that God can shift you, can throw you down, can put you under the ground, and you fall. So life can change at any time. Life can okay, while you're sleeping, while you're relaxing, while you say, you know what, I'm now settled. You can be unsettled at any time. So yeah, it humbled me, and that's the way I see life now. I took life differently now, and so yeah, and I also made a deal for myself. Like everything that I'm going to do is for you, because even if he was still here, he wants the best for me. He wants to be happy because I've done something good, especially at school. So I always do things with a purpose. What I can say, I made my life more purposeful. I put a dedication into everything that I do. So, like what I've said, the way I now take life is not more of like, right now I'm turning 25. Uh, I'm youth. I can say at my peak, the youth where you're now exposed to so many things, to so many, situations where you say, I need to be happy. I need to be, uh, and what we see these days, these the youth of nowadays, they are more of outing. They're now exposed to, drugs. They're now exposed to, alcohol, exposed to all sorts of, things that can make you lose yourself. So I governed myself. I sit down. Everything that I do, I always put a decision. Like, what's the end product of doing this, such. Yes, you need to, spoil yourself. You need to reward yourself. I do that mostly. But I need to have a meeting with myself, a contract with myself, where you'd be like, so if I go out, what's what can I expect the worst? What's up? And I'm governing myself. Yeah. So I do things with a purpose. So if you find me, I'm always doing mostly the right things, be it treating people, be it handling myself. So that's how I can say I've taken my life to being more purposeful. And you are someone who sponsored me, if I can say, supported me in basketball because I really love basketball. And the reason why I'm still playing right now is for him, because he made me push more further. I remember when I was in primary, um, he used to, pick me up late after my training, and you'd stop by and talk to my coach, and yeah, what does he need to do? Like, how it is when you go to your teacher and say, this boy needs to work on maths, he needs to work on, something like that. But that was basketball. That was an activity that would be like, and then the next day or sometime later, he buys you a basketball. He talks about, can we do extra, training for him, personal training. Or I remember he took me to Arcadia. There's a court there. I remember there's a time I met a coach, at individual training. He was trying all by means for me to become, a great player on the other side.
And he painted the basketball court.
Yes, he made me a basketball court at home, despite the space and everything. But he made sure that, yeah. And I remember in Form 1, I really wanted to go to, a sporting school, Prince Edward. But he was like, no, you can't. You need to be focused on school and what. So I went to a boarding school. So me, I was like, no, but basketball, there's no basketball there. Well, no, but I'll build a basketball court for you at home. So on holidays, I used to,
and you used to play even up late
at night at what, and you'd allow me, be it breaking windows and what. That's fine. But if I break a window, that's a case.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then that's a thing that I put a purpose to it. Like, I need to keep on doing it to keep him happy. I set a target. If I win a game, it's for you. If I, so that's an example of how I put life into, be it school, be it in business wise. Like I've said, I'm now a dog breeder. I'm still on the rise, and yeah. So so besides even basketball, we're talking about the business. It's out of passion. He was the one who introduced me to love dogs. I used to remember when I was a kid, we bought a puppy, bought me a puppy, those African breeds, those mongrels.
And the way you cried when that
Yeah.
died.
And I think I spent only 2 weeks with it. Then it died. I really cried, I cried. Don't worry, I'll get you another. Get you another. Then I got another. And then, I spent, I think, 2 years with it. Then it got killed. And then he bought another one. And even when he passed away, it was still there. And then, luckily, there's a friend that gave me a bulb. And, that's how things got better. But, it's more of everything around me. It was because of his input. So he introduced me so many things that I like or that I am. It was because of him. So even business wise, I can say, he was the push. He was the push start. So it's more of a dedicating part to him that I'm saying, I'm doing this because you introduced this to me. So that's the goal. That's the drive that I always have inside me. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you had quite a lot to talk about him, and it's also something that makes me happy that you have good memories with him. I mean, we shared the same sentiments when it comes to him. There was no favoritism. You were his son, I was his daughter. He would make us come to do things together. And, even listening to you going on about how he impacted his life on you, you spoke about having also pressure that you had to step up when now he's late, and now you have to step up to be this person who is now the head also of the family. Did you feel the pressure coming from us, the family, or it was your own personal pressure inside of you?
Okay. No, it's not the outside. Or even my mom to say, you need to do this. Of course, she did somewhere, somehow through, giving me advice. There's a way of advice, but it was for my own viewing and the way of seeing things. Like, I need to be a better brother. I need to be a better person. I need to be a better son. I need to step up. It's more of like a push to motivate myself, not the pressure of, rushing. No, it's the motivating part.
Okay, all right. Well, that's good to hear that also. The fact that if things happen, even the worst things happen, you had the time to, sit yourself down and that self talk, which is rare, I think, especially in those situations where it's something that you've never imagined of having a parent to take their own life. And now you have to sit there and to talk to yourself. And the way you talk to yourself, you actually having to give yourself a way forward and not really much on why this happened to me, why is this happening, and also having to be in the moment, accepting that you're hurting, you cry. You even said, people say that men don't cry, but of which you cried and you were emotional and you were there to show that, I can be this and still be that man that you are. It doesn't mean that when you cried, you are not the strong person that you used to be. I love that how you put it that way, to give it as a motivation to say, even when the worst thing that happens, we don't have to resort to the worst of our character. And yeah, I'm also a proud sister. I'm also a proud sister.
I
Yeah.
know, I know.
And also, maybe just going back a bit from what you spoke about, did you question or have questions that you probably want to ask him why he did it?
Well, the way that I like the situation was during that time, I was away from home.
Mhm.
I was away from home. I didn't know much of what was happening, what occurred, or maybe it's a situation that I didn't see. So what I was what was there was to hear from people who were at home, you guys, mom, he told me every day this and that, and yeah. So for me to say, I have questions remaining. Yeah, obviously you say why he did that, why leaving and all, but it's the way that I understood that maybe it could be tough, maybe it was out of giving up and the pressure and what the way that I got the explanation of how he was now leaving, how he was now what. So from that time, maybe that's why I had to sit down with my mom and say, no, I need to now be at home available to see what's happening now, because what happened was I wasn't knowing, I wasn't seeing. Or maybe if I was around, it could have been
Different.
different, or I could have talked to him and in any way. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. I hear you on that, because also there was quite a lot that was happening and you were also not seeing, and which is also something that is also the purpose of this podcast, to say that we need to talk about the issues that happens in our homes, and we need to have that connection to know exactly what is happening. We might not have said you were young because you were in Form 1, Form 2. I think there were other things that you could probably understand, that, he was having a mental disorder and he was actually now in therapy. It's also something that we have now learned from that incident, that now we even sit down as a family, check in on each other, talk about things from the inside, to involve them, so that then they will not be blamed for the other people, that no, you didn't tell me, I didn't know. And then people can walk in the same perspective, to know this is what we are dealing with in our family. Okay, then now you are this guy who has accepted the loss, and you have taken up that mindset to say, what is done is done. I am now here. I need to do this. I need to shift my mindset to then work hard to be inspired by his life. And from then, let's say maybe until now, how has been your healing journey? Because it's something that probably in the day things may happen, you may get triggered or you may get reminded. But how has been your healing journey from that time?
Well, the journey, if I could say, it's a process. It was a process. Day by day, month by month, years by years, and like what we have said, it's been 8, 9 years now. It was more of living in the situation, living in the act, that you see, you start to see changes, a lot of changes, family split, lifestyle. You now have to wake up early. You're now doing what he was doing. So, and it's changing lifestyle. It's not an easy thing that you say, it's been 3 weeks, I'm not doing better. No, you take 90 days, you even take a year, and then also, and it can be still hard to accept.
Yeah.
I can say with the level of the acceptance that I had, it was for the good. It was for the construction of saying, if I'm putting a dedication in things, as I'm accomplishing these objectives, these missions, I can say it's more of, therapy, a healing thing for me, that I say, I'm sure I've made him proud. I'm sure, and obviously my mom would be proud as well. Just like when you pass your O levels, your A levels, you get that better feeling that if he was here, he would be happy, so he's happy. So it's more of doing things correct and in a good way. So when good things happen, especially when you've put a dedication, you become better, you become, stronger, rather than the opposite. When you're in the worst, that's when you start to have those being in the depression now and start to say, maybe if he was around, we could have been, better and whatnot. But I can say, obviously, we collapsed, we fell. The journey was, uh, quite harsh, but we had faith. We kept on praying. We kept on believing in God. We even for myself, I said, no, it's your plan. It's God's plan. It's. I'm trusting you. I'm putting, trust, and I can say I'm a product of, of the situation.
Okay.
That if I'm to tell someone who is currently in that situation, I would tell them, just be calm. Try to be calm. Just accept and take things constructively, and move forward. Because I, I observed, I encountered that God actually bless you in that situation. Yes, you can feel like maybe I'm not being the one who's more blessed, because you're in a situation maybe with your friends. When you're talking about these, situations at home, you might be like, so I'm living a better life, or you even have a certain thing that one doesn't have, and you start to say, thank God, and what. Yes, I know situations changes, situations are different, but I, I was grateful for what I still have. I still have a mom, I still have a sister, I still have a home. At least it was, we were left when we were in a good space. So yeah, that's what I can say. The healing part was more of accepting and being grateful and putting dedication in things and accomplishing those small objectives, those little things, and yeah.
Yeah. I would say it was. I think it was also the way we were brought up when we have that mindset. Because I think at home, even growing up, we were taught to find the best thing in a situation, and even look. You don't get stuck to say this has happened to me. Why? And you sit there, cry, and all that. But we were taught to say, make your way through the situation, and look for what is that is giving you hope or life or joy. And I also believe it's something that has made this journey interesting to say. I think your story was also the same as mine. We both had to step up because you were the only son, I was the firstborn, and there were quite a lot of things that we wanted to do for mom, and then you'd be like, dad used to do this and this, so now we have to like pitch in and quickly, that kind of mindset shift that is so quick to be like, I'm not going to be down for too long, but even though I'm grieving, even though I'm in loss, even though I'm in mourning, I really just need to get up and do this so that we can move on. So I think it also came with the environment that we grew up in, which he also did show us that, because you'll find him that when he says, I'm having this challenge with family, or this happened at work. But anyway, it's okay. We can still try and do this. He would openly say that to us, the kids, and we would see, oh, okay, things can get bad, but that doesn't mean you have to be the bad or the worst of yourself because of the situation.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So I wanted also to find out how it was for you to talk about this situation to your friends. You mean like to say now, oh, my dad is late. He then took his life. That's how he died. Because back then, even now, there's still that kind of discrimination when it comes to issues of mental health. Because he was bipolar, and people did not accept it back then that he was on treatment, he was in therapy, he was bipolar, and now he he committed suicide. And there was a lot of stigma and discrimination and even finger pointing to be like, what did you do to your dad for him to take his life? Or what did your mother do for him to then say, I'm going to end my life? How was it for you to tell people, even when you went back to school, you went for the other term and then from three you moved out. So how was it when you then went back and you had to tell people, your friends, that this is what happened?
Well, I could start by saying, from that point, say acceptance.
Mhm.
Acceptance. When you accept things, it's easy to, show it out or say it out to people. And even when you receive certain comments or when you're in a conversation in that, context, you just be normal.
Mhm.
Even in a situation where I can even start the conversation or even just to say it out without them asking me, I could easily say things out and say, this is what happened to my dad and what. Even if they don't feel sorry for me, or even if they feel so bad to me, I'm like, no, don't worry, it's something that happened. I accepted and everything. Like what I've mentioned, if someone is in that situation, I would open up to, enlighten that person and say, it also happened to me. So you're not alone, not the only one, you know. And even I remember the time when, because I remember the school came at home the next day after the funeral. They were expecting me to be like, Brennan doesn't want to talk to us. Oh, he's feeling low. Obviously, you have to, be, calm and what. But I was the same way as they, used to know me, being active and making jokes and laughing. And I remember I was now playing basketball. I think outside, they're saying, oh, you're playing basketball. You're expecting, you to be isolated. No, So I showed that character of saying, no, I've accepted. Even when I went back to school, the same situation. I wasn't even crying. Even when they mentioned it, I was just calm. But obviously, the changes of being, I was now, I can't say reserved. I was just being, can't say quiet. I was just being calm and not to be loud. Someone who's loud, someone who's, it's just reserved, humbled.
The key word is acceptance.
Yes, acceptance.
When you accept, it means it has lightened the heavy feeling, the the sadness. It has lightened even the journey of the healing process, because you are not asking why, but you're saying, okay, this is what it is, but we're still here and we need to move on. And I respect you for that, because these are situations that can drive someone to be in drugs, like you said, that the youth of nowadays, sadly, there are situations that drag them into drug and substance abuse. And for you, it was not the choice that you made. You felt it. You even said,
Well, okay. In someone's situation, you would, obviously when you're in that situation, you feel like I need to, distract my brains. Said to let me go do drugs. Let me go do this. Let me go, take a glass of wine or what. But for me, go play basketball. I go to the gym.
Okay.
So that's how I distracted my brain.
And that is the healthy outlet that we encourage to say, we have those things. I think also we may need to note that when life is okay, we have to have the things we love to do, so that also those things can be our backup for source of fulfillment or joy when the bad or the worst thing happen. You find it that some people would even have no hobbies or no things that they do just for fun in a healthy way. So you get stuck now to say, okay, I don't like watching movies. I don't like listening to music. I don't do gym. I don't take walks. I don't read books. So you'll find that when you then become idle, the next resort is, maybe the drugs will be better. Maybe if I drink more, I will be numb and, don't think and feel what I'm feeling.
Yeah,
So,
because it's more of finding yourself, or if I can say finding your new self. So if you find the wrong you,
yeah.
it's now a disaster. So finding the right you in the doing the right things, the things that this is gonna tear me up. This is and it all comes to making what I can say short term decisions, long term decisions. Like, what am I doing? Is this going to give me a positive result, or what? Then you're in the process of finding yourself in the right way or otherwise.
I I've got a lesson I've learned. Like you've said that find your new self, because I think in situations sometimes we don't remain the same. We actually changed or shifted by the situations we face in life. So it then becomes your choice to say, okay, there are two selves that are here. There are two me's. There's the wrong me, and then there is the good me or better me. So where do I need to channel myself? So and wow,
Yeah.
you are the master of this thing.
Yeah.
I really am taking this as quite a big lessons to put it in practice in any situation that you face, where you then ask yourself, what is this benefiting me now and tomorrow? Or what about next month? What about next year? Where you talked about those short term choices and long term effects of what you have made to decide today. And I, I really have accepted also the situation that we're in. And even listening to you, and even at home when we talk about this, it's an issue that we took all to use that pain we felt to be better for, even like you said, making that proud, that if he was here, he would be applauding us to say, that's my boy, that's my girl, that's my wife. And you even hear sometimes mom saying like, you know what I'm doing, would your dad be happy with this?
Exactly.
She would even say like, if he was here, he would be proud, or he would be like, no, I think you guys are not seeing the whole picture. You should do this and that. And that has also made us to, bring out other, I can't say characters, I don't know, like those traits we have inside that probably would not ignited if he was here. So his absence.
Like one example, he would give you a curfew. Curfew was 6 p.m. at home. Latest is 6:30. I used to remember when I say I need to go out with my friends to have a movie or game sessions with my friends. What time are you coming home? If you say by 5 I should be home. But the other time say I was there was traffic, there's what.
Yeah.
Give you okay, it's okay. Next time you come and save it. Then he gives you a warning. The other time, then he's beating you up. So I knew if he was still around, it was going to be 6:30 every time. So I also took it in a way of saying, okay, despite that, I'm in a bad situation. Obviously, I now have the freedom, and that freedom is the leeway of finding yourself now, because there's no one who's governing you. There's no one who's saying come at 6:30. So when you come at 6:30, you're avoiding so many things. You're avoiding a lot of things that happen at night, or when you have more time with your friends. And because when you have more time with your friends, you tend to have more activities and start to have more plans, and some tend to be worse, bad, and what. So when you're now being free, obviously your mom be like, hey, what, but she doesn't have that power, like being like, no, this is dad said this. So my mom, obviously, she used to give me that curfew at times, but the fact that she was now doing so many things, obviously she didn't have that energy to keep me what. So she gave me that leeway, that freedom of saying, what, you're grown, you're now grown, do what you want. So I took that as my own responsibility. Like I've said, I govern myself to do the right things. Yes, I come home even at 8 at times, at 9, but I know when I'm out there, I am being responsible for myself. Because even if I go and say, I'm lying to my mom, and what, at the end of the day, I'm the one who's at risk. I'm the one who's, on the negative side of things. So it's more of governing yourself.
Yeah, yeah. You just also reminded me on when you said he would ask you, what time do you want to come back? He would make sure that you are the one who says
Your time,
or you say what plans. You even ask, what are the plans for the week? And you're like, oh, I want to start at this time. I want to do this. This will be your words and not his. And he will make sure that you are accountable
for what
you have said. And
so when you're out there, 6 p.m. I should be home. I said 6. And there's no explanation why 7. Excuse.
He would make sure that you are accountable for the things that you would say you do. And if you don't do, he'll be like, ma'am, you said you were going to do this and this. What happened?
And what happened?
Yeah, why did you not do it? That comes at character of his of being principled. To say, when you set your things, you then adjust whatever it is you need to adjust. You need to limit this or you need to add more of this. And yeah, that has also been the thing that runs in us, you and me. I even see it, and even in Mama, you would see that she really wants to do that thing that she said she would do.
She's pushing
to to be accountable, and that you being responsible is also backed up to say, yeah, he's not here, but I am accountable for me right now. And even if he was here, it's not like he was going to be accountable for me.
Yeah,
I'm still going to be accountable.
Obviously, you get beaten, but at the same time,
yeah. All right. I quite enjoyed this, and well, we will go on and on and on.
Yes, a whole week.
Yeah, but I really love, and I hope that our viewers and our listeners will also get the lessons. In as much as it was a hard lesson, we then put the whole issue on mindset. Where how do you take a worst thing that comes in your life? Uncertainty that you've never thought, if it just comes knocking on your door, how is your mindset? And I also believe that it's something that you then cultivate before the things that happen, where you have the healthy habits, have your hobbies, have the things that you do that makes you feel fulfilled. And also when those pains and situation comes, you then work yourself through that pain to get a better thing that you need in yourself or around you. All right, so Brandon, any last words you would want to say to the youth, people who are in the same situation as us, as you? Any kind of words that you want to give them, encouragement, maybe?
Acceptance. That's the keyword, acceptance, and knowing that life is not consistent. It changes every day. Like what we see, the weather today is cold, tomorrow it's hot, and all sorts. You get into seasons. There's a dry season. There's a season for rain. So you need to accept the situation. You need to adjust, improve yourself, take things constructively on the other side, and also you need to put patience in things, because it's a process. It's a time of emotions and logic, and at times you oppose your emotion side and the logic side. So you need to put patience in things. You need to put more time and say, no, one day it will be better. One day it will be better, and you need to push yourself at the same time and take things on the right way. do things with a purpose, do things with dedication, put an objective, put a markup, put a reason why you're doing it, put a reason why you need to do this, or put a reason why I'm doing this. Um, yeah, that's what I can say. Acceptance, dedication, patience, and a drive.
Such powerful words right there. And I think we, even us, the people who are not, well, we are still youth, but the people that are outside of your age group or even adults, we can take that advice to say that, acceptance, I think in all kind of aspects, when things happen, acceptance is really the first thing to do and the right thing to do, which will make you to not get stuck in that bad situation or that painful event, and have a drive, have a purpose, know why you're doing what you're doing, and how you're doing it is question that. Is this also a good thing that I'm doing this thing in this way? I've also learned quite a lot that I've got a wise young brother.
Yes.
So for today, I hope we have get a lesson or two from this episode where we are encouraging ourselves to really not get stuck in the situation that we're in. Acceptance is the good thing to take first when you are faced with any hardship in our lives. And remember that life is not always the same. And it's up to you then to make a good and better choice out of the life that you're living. And from me, Shannon, your host, and Brendan, my guest, we will see you again next week.